And how's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. And we're going to be getting an in-game event in Pokemon Go that's going to be tied to the release of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl. Now, of course, these two games are the Sinnoh remakes that are coming to the Nintendo Switch. So, of course, because Niantic is promoting this game in their own game, it's going to be a Sinnoh-themed event. There's going to be a whole bunch of Sinnoh Pokemon that's going to be spawning in the wild, and a whole bunch of shinies that you will want to go after. I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video, so let's roll the intro and jump right into it. Alrighty, so like I said at the top of this video, this is going to be completely a Sinnoh-themed event. All of the Sinnoh Pokemon that we've enjoyed are going to be spawning in the wild and appearing in raid battles, as well as hatching in eggs. Now, the key thing with this event is actually related to the egg hatches, and I'm going to be getting into that a little bit later. But first and foremost, I have to inform you that this is going to be a two-part event, and the first part is going to be related to Brilliant Diamond, and the second half is going to be related to Shining Pearl. The entire event is going to be going from November 16 all the way till November 21st, and the first part is going to be from November 16th to November 18, and then from November 18 to the 21st, that's going to be the second half. Now, it's interesting because this event is actually pretty short in comparison to some of the other events that we've had. But if you play this event hard, you will come out with a couple of rare shinies, considering that Sinnoh Pokemon don't necessarily spawn in the wild too often, and there's quite a lot of Pokemon that we haven't seen in a while that are going to be spawning in the wild. So let's start with the first half of this event, which is going to be related to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. These are some of the Pokemon that you will be seeing in the wild. Some of the notable ones is, of course, Buizel. I believe it's one of the newest shinies from the Sinnoh region that was introduced into Pokemon Go, as well as a couple of other Pokemon as well. I know a lot of players are really fond of Bidoof. That is going to be spawning in the wild, and of course that is also something that could potentially be shiny. And the Sinnoh starters are going to be spawning in the wild, and they're going to have hats that are very reminiscent of Lucas from Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And the unfortunate thing is, these Pokemon cannot evolve. So if you happen to get a shiny of any of these Pokemon, yes, it will be rare, but unfortunately it will pretty much be useless unless you're using it in some sort of little cup or different things like that. But the key thing here is that these Sinnoh starters with these hats are going to be exclusive to this event, and there's no telling when they will make a return to Pokemon Go, so consider them a timed exclusive. So you will want to make sure you go out and hunt for these shinies. It's going to be extremely rare to have, so yeah, it's something you could definitely show off. Alongside these Sinnoh themed wild spawns, we're also going to be getting a couple of Sinnoh Pokemon in raid battles. Probably the most notable are going to be Cranidos and Gible being in 1-star raids. These are the Pokemon that always will catch players' attention. If you're not interested in raiding legendaries, but you still want to get a rare Cranidos or Gible, then this is a great avenue for you to do so, considering that both of these Pokemon can be shiny and you can get really high IVs through raid battles. This is definitely something you do not want to ignore. Now here's something that might catch players' interests. In the 7-kilometer egg pool, they are actually going to be adding Mime Jr. And of course this Pokemon was a Europe exclusive from eggs, but now it's going to be hatchable worldwide. So if you still do not have a Mime Jr., this is a great opportunity for you to collect that Pokedex entry. Actually, I will say that this is probably one of the best 7-kilometer egg pools that we've had in a while. We are going to be seeing Riolu in the egg pool as well, and Riolu is of course the pre-evolved form of Lucario, which is a very powerful and highly sought after fighting type. If you do not have a shiny Lucario at this point, you will want to hatch as many 7-kilometer eggs as you possibly can during this event. And the nice thing is that this particular 7-kilometer egg pool will persist until the end of this event, so even when you're in part 2 of this event, you will still have the same 7-kilometer egg pool. So I highly highly suggest you hatch as many 7-kilometer eggs as you can. This is a prime opportunity for you to not only pick up Mime Jr., but also some really nice Riolus as well. And of course, getting Riolu candy is always going to be extremely difficult, so this is a great way for you to farm up those candies as well as those XL candies to max out your best Lucario. Alright, so speaking of which, let's move on to the second part of this event, and it's going to follow pretty much the same format. There's going to be a whole bunch of different Sinnoh Pokemon spawning in the wild. The only key thing is that this pool of wild spawns is going to be different from part 1, but it's all still going to feature mostly Sinnoh Pokemon. Now, some of the notables are of course the Sinnoh starters once again, but this time instead of having a Lucas themed hat, they're going to have hats that are more reminiscent of Dawn, which is of course the female character from Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And just like the starters with the Lucas hat, these are going to be somewhat exclusive to this event, and yes, there's no telling when these will return into Pokemon Go, so you will want to catch these as much as you can. Now, in terms of the raid encounters, once again, we're seeing a whole bunch of Sinnoh Pokemon, but unfortunately, Cranidos and Gible will not be in this raid pool, but instead you will see Shieldon in these raid battles, and that is definitely one that you will want to go after. But aside from Shieldon, I really don't think there's any Pokemon that's worth going after. You might want to save your raid passes during the second half of this event. And finally, the big bonus that's going to be persisting through both of these parts is going to be half incubator distance and 1/3 super incubator distance. So when you're hatching a whole bunch of those 7-kilometer eggs, do keep that in mind. Now is the time to use those incubators, and you will be able to hatch a whole bunch of Pokemon more than you usually do. The one thing you do have to keep in mind though is that you do have a 20 gift limit, so hopefully you'll be lucky and you'll be able to get a whole bunch of 7-kilometer eggs. They pretty much set this event up for you to hatch a whole bunch of eggs, so make sure you go ahead and do so. So what are my overall thoughts regarding this event? Well, it is pretty much a generic in-game event like the ones we've seen so far. And there's not even any new shinies that's going to be introduced into this, which I do find a little bit disappointing. It would have been really nice if they were to introduce a new shiny from a Sinnoh Pokemon, but instead they're adding a whole bunch of Sinnoh starters with hats, and those are the new shinies that we're supposed to go after. So that's a little bit disappointing. I really wish they did add some sort of new shiny to kind of bolster this event, but in general, these wild spawns are still pretty good, and I do find that there's going to be a lot of potential for farming up XL candies and different things like that. I think there's always going to be a point of contention within the community whenever Niantic kind of encourages players to spend money on egg incubators and raid passes. All of the best Pokemon from this event are only going to be obtainable through the use of premium items, so it's kind of unfortunate, and I do think that this will create a little bit of backlash because the community is really testy when it comes to relying on egg hatches and using raid passes, so hopefully Niantic is fully aware of that, and if they are, well, it's kind of unfortunate that they're going down this path. Maybe it's not even their call. Maybe this is something that the Pokemon Company encouraged them to do, considering that I know a lot of players will probably take a step back from Pokemon Go in order to play these new games, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it to be helpful. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. That will definitely help the channel out a lot. And if it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that little bell so you stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And yeah, I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.